Here's our 1954 Ford Crestline Sunliner convertible. We bought this car at auction a couple months ago, and we're slowly putting it back together, building a little hot rod out of it. We've put air ride suspension, a 4-link. We've rebuilt the door panels. We've rebuilt the convertible top pump and cleaned up the cylinders. We have put door poppers in it. We're going to shave the door handles outside and inside and actually shave the whole car so that it is completely smooth. So we're going to do videos on each part of the process of building this car, and most everything we do is something that could be done on any car. So most of the stuff you'll see is something you could do on your car. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the Ford. So here's the process of putting those poppers in. I'll put all the supplies and parts that I used in the comment section of the video. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us. So first thing to do is kind of locate the solenoid where it's not going to be in the way of the wind wing or of the windows. We're going to put power windows on this car so it made it even more compact where I have less to worry about. Then you kind of line it up and make sure that when the cable pulls, it's going to be a nice straight shot. You can't always get it perfectly straight, but I just put this bracket a little bit of an angle, and now it makes it a straight shot for the cable to pull on the latch. I make the marks from the outside nice and easy to put the bracket where it needs to be, drill those holes. Then we'll put some cables on the solenoid, get it mounted back on the bracket, and then we'll mount it inside so it'll pull that latch. We've got our holes marked now, and we're ready to drill. I'm going to hold the bracket up one more time, make sure it looks like it's at a good angle. Then I'm going to mount the solenoid back on the bracket, hold it up there inside the door, make sure that it's still clearing everything now that we've literally got it mounted on. I'm going to hook up the wire to it, so when I get it mounted inside, I can just hook that wire up to the button. I want to make sure the solenoid's working good, so I hook it up just to the battery under the car. We use 100-pound solenoids, which will pretty much pop any door for the big cars that we use. The kit comes with a little cable and some cable clamps. I have a crimping tool for that, but you can use a hammer or even some pliers in this application. First thing to do is make the loop that's going to go around the knob of the latch. So you loop it through and just make enough of a loop that it will connect to this. I got a nice easy latch to connect to, just that little knob, and this is big enough to go over that knob. On the other side, it's a little different. You got to hook it to the solenoid and it basically stays there. So you loop it through the hole on the solenoid, put the little connector on there, and then crimp it together, and it will stay on that solenoid forever, even if you take that solenoid out. This is what it looks like after the final crimp. This is with a crimper, but you can use a hammer or some pliers, and that will work just fine in this application. After it's all put together, right before we bolt it in the car, this is what you're going to have. But first, we're going to put the mechanism on that opens the door. This is basically a spring-loaded piston that mounts kind of like a bulkhead. You drill a hole in somewhere in the door pocket so that when the latch is activated, it will push that door open. So I found a nice spot down in the corner. I'm going to drill that hole, and I'm going to have to cut a small hole in the inner rocker so that I can get and push this piston through the back of it. Some guys probably aren't going to like that, but I've always had the philosophy, if you're building a little hot rod and you're afraid to cut a small hole like that, probably not a hot rod builder. So anyways, here's the process for that. I'm going to speed it up a little bit to go through that part, but this is a pretty easy process. There's really not much adjustment in mounting the piston that pushes this door open. It pretty much mounts one way. So you got to make sure you put it in a spot that's going to give you enough throw to open that door. I've got my hole drilled. I was able to get it in through the back. I'm just going to tighten it up now, and then I'm going to just push the door closed even without the latch on yet, just to see how it reacts, to make sure that when the door is all lined up with the body lines that it will let the door come open. And I got lucky on my first try. I think it's going to work. Here's what it looks like when it's all mounted up. The little hole next to it was for the original rubber stopper, which I think works out perfect. Once I get that in there, it's going to make the door nice and tight and The throw on the piston is perfect. It pops the door open just right. So now we've got our latch installed, and we're just hooking it up to 12 volt, and she pops open. How about that? So we're going to get to working on the bodywork now, shave all the door handles, all the trim holes, and maybe our next video will be about that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you need anything, let us know.